Good evening. I'm Kate Chartner, Chair of the Historic Districts Commission, and welcome to the April 15th, 2026 meeting of the Town of Concord Historic Districts Commission. The commission will review 4 new applications, 4 continued applications, and 4 items under other business tonight. We are conducting this meeting online in accordance with the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Executive Order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. The public may access this call through both telephone and video conferencing. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions and provide public comment on applications and discussions following the petitioner's presentation and questions from the commissioners. To do so, please raise your hand in the participant function of the Zoom meeting platform. If you are calling in and cannot use the video platform, you may raise your hand by dialing *9. Our host will mute microphones of those not speaking, and in order to preserve bandwidth, may need to turn off video, with the exception of the commissioners, the host, and the current applicant. The chair will call on commissioners for comments on an application and then open the meeting for public comment. Once there are no more public comments, I will ask for a motion from the commission to continue to approve with conditions, or to reject. And then I'll ask for a second and conduct a roll call vote. Once the commission has acted on an application, the applicant is free to leave the meeting. Please join me in welcoming our newest member, Paul Keen, to the commission. Very happy to have a new associate member. And now I will conduct a roll call for all the members. Let's see, we'll start with Tim Whitney.
Present.
Louis Caldarella.
Here.
Jeffrey Young.
Here.
Walter Clay.
Here.
Paul Keen.
Here.
And myself, Kate Chartner, I'm here. And the voting members this evening will be Tim Whitney, Walter Clay, Louis Caldarella, Jeff Young, and myself. And I don't think, has Kristen made it in yet? I didn't see her yet. Okay, so Kristen Dahlman may appear. She's an associate commissioner. All right, so I know we have the posted agenda here, but I am just going to go out of order a little bit for an application that is a little bit urgent, and that is the Preston's for 77 Walden Street. That was under continued public hearings, I think. Where is it now? Well, that's who we'll start with. If Eve, are you here? I saw you. I'm not sure. Are you presenting?
Hello.
Hi there.
Hey. Yes, I'm presenting. I don't have any formal documentation to present, but I can walk you through the situation. Basically, I think you last heard from us in early 2026, and we received a hardship waiver that allowed us to replace the majority of our windows, but restore 8 of the original windows, although they're not original, but 8 of the older windows, and move them to the front of the house. Subsequent to that decision, we ordered the new windows with our lead remediation team, and we contracted to restore the 8 windows as we discussed. We applied to CLIP to be able to, in April, when we installed our new windows, take the windows to be restored out of the house, have them restored and reinstalled 6 weeks later. We were denied that request in late January. So we then requested to remove the windows in February and then reinstall the restored windows with the new windows in April. We received what we thought was approval for that plan, and so we booked a trip with our family for a week in February so that we could be out of the house as is required for the removal of the windows. In the week preceding that trip, we got a call from the Massachusetts Housing Authority saying that that plan was actually not not allowable under their regulations because they do not allow temporary windows in the home with children during the winter. So then we reapplied to CLIP explaining the situation and got approval for the original plan, which was to have the windows removed in April and reinstalled in this early summer. So we moved forward with that plan, and that was meant to start on April 20th. This past week, we received another call from CLIP saying that they actually uh, do not approve of the plan. The processes are not as formal as they might sound. This was communicated largely over the phone. Um, Basically, there are two problems at this point. The first is that they do not feel comfortable with a two-step process. So a process in which we would be taking windows out and reinstalling them at a later date is not something that they can get behind from a safety perspective. They're also not comfortable with the temporary windows that come with any window restoration, be it in the winter or the spring or the summer. So that leaves us in a bit of a bind, as you can probably imagine. Um, we are also contending with the health implications of the lead poisoning, which is exacerbating the stress around the situation. So at this point, we are hoping that we can extend the hardship waiver and order new windows for the 8 windows instead of restoring them. We obviously understanding that this is not the ideal solution, and that we are sacrificing some of the kind of historical look and feel of our house. That being said, with new windows, we will not reinstall the storm windows, and so there will be some upside to the aesthetic, even though it is not, as I said, it's not the solution that was originally proposed, nor the solution that we've been working towards now for like
Right, for a long, with tremendous patience and organization. Uh, I've reviewed this with Anne and also with Tim. Have any of the other commissioners been able to look at the memo Anne sent around? Do you sort of follow where Eve's coming from?
Yeah, I think it's understood.
Yeah, there's, there's really nothing more we can do here, I don't think. So we're going to amend the certificate.
Can I just say one thing?
Sure.
Yeah, obviously, yes, amend the certificate, but before we get through this, if there's any way to preserve the original windows with the thought that perhaps 20 years from now, somebody might be able to restore them and put them back in, I would say that should be done. It's at all possible. That's all.
Oh, you mean like if they take them out and sort of stash them in the basement or something?
Yeah, I don't know if stashing in the basement.
I just have a bunch in my basement. So
Yeah. Don't we all? Just in terms of the preservation aspect of it, rather than just absolutely giving up on the process. I understand the here and now and what's necessary for the here and now. But it's just in terms of the future, if it's at all possible to hang on to them somehow.
I can certainly ask. I believe that because we were in a state mandated remediation process, we are not.
They want them out.
I think to get our clearance.
I'm hardly being a hard ass about it.
But I will ask. And we've rolled the dice a number of times and lost each one, but perhaps this will be the time we win.
Well, yeah, they also might just want that actual material out of the house because
absolutely.
Basement.
Absolutely understood. So I'm sorry, Kate, you go back to where you were. Yes.
No, that's where those are the kinds of things we're supposed to say, Walter. So that was good. Thank you. So let's see. And do we make a motion to amend the initial certificate? Is that what we're doing?
Yes, I think you probably should get a motion and a second and a vote.
Yeah, okay. Could we do that? Tim, have you seen do you remember what the certificate looks like? Do you remember what you were saying? You want to do that?
Um, I don't have paperwork with me on my travels, so
That's
if,
right. All right.
if someone else could do it, that would help. Thank you.
Walter?
Well, I don't have the paperwork either. The gist of it is that the existing hardship uh, certificate can be expanded. I move that we expand the existing hardship certificate to include the entirety of the windows and allow for replacement of the 8 that have been in question.
Excellent. Thank you.
Or-
Second?
A second.
Thank you, Louis. And I'll go around for a vote. Tim?
Aye.
Jeff?
Aye.
Louis?
Aye.
Walter?
I
And I'm an aye. So that passes. I'm sorry you've had to go through this, Eve. I appreciate your willingness to sort of try to make things work, but ideally now you'll sail forth and get in your house and put this behind you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Time spent here.
Okay, take care. Good night.
Yep.
Okay. All right, thanks, everybody. So moving rapidly forth to the next item, which was our original first item, which is right here.
Were you going to move Mimi Graney up in the pianos next, or?
Actually, 414 Main Street's going to come. That's going to be quick, and then but we'll double Mimi up with CCM, but then also the review on the Black History markers.
Got it.
Yeah. So let's see. So is Megan Clinard? Are you the one?
I'm here, yes.
Oh, hi there.
Hi. Megan Clenard, 414 Main Street. I'm asking permission tonight. We currently have a white aluminum plexiglass storm door on our front door, and we're asking to be able to replace it with a wooden door, 2 segments with screens and glass, to match no longer white, but to match the color of the French door that exists behind it, which is red.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see what you mean.
And this is that one is an example of the proposed door, slightly different color, but.
Okay. It's a proposed similar replacement door. That's what. Are you having it made, or is it sort of one that's?
It's handmade, custom made, because our door is particularly wide.
Oh, okay. All right. I don't know if we need to see any other specs on that. What will the hardware be?
What did they say? Oil rub bronze, which matches kind of the hardware on that existing door behind it.
So hinges, straps, and doorknob?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anybody else have some questions on the door update?
Slightly irrelevant, but can you replace it with the glass with screen?
Yes, so there'll be 2 glass panels and 2 screen panels to use.
Yeah, sounds great.
Not that irrelevant, given it was 80 degrees yesterday. So. All right. Anybody else? Okay. Let's see. I'll just check with public comment. Anyone have any comment on the new door 414 Main? No, appears not. All right. How about a motion, please?
Okay. I could move that we approve Megan Clenard's 414 Main Street replacement of an aluminum door with the wooden door submitted.
Okay. Second.
Second.
Thanks, Tim. All right. Walter,
Aye.
Jeff,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Louis,
Aye.
and I am an aye. So that's just sailed through, Megan.
Thank
Well
you.
done.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Good night.
Good night.
All right, now Mimi. Haven't seen you in a couple of weeks.
Did you miss me?
I'm sure you missed us. We've been ready for this project. You've kept us informed all along. Here we are.
Right. Well, so the first one, we're going to do the pianos first.
That is what's listed. Yep. And I see that Kate Yoder is here, so she'll probably appreciate those coming up.
Great. So maybe I'll let Kate introduce the project and then I'll dig into the nitty-gritty with the designs because I have my slideshow ready.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. So the Concord Conservatory of Music, we're celebrating our 20th anniversary this year in conjunction with the town's 250 celebration. And we're planning an event, an art installation called Pianos on the Town, where we're placing 8 upright pianos at walkable locations throughout the town of Concord, both over here in West Concord and in Concord Center. And all of the pianos are being painted by artists that we have selected. They submitted designs and we went through a process of picking the 8 designs that we wish to have on the pianos. And throughout town, there will be a pop-up concert every week at a different location, and the pianos are available for anybody to walk by and play them. And we'll have a kickoff event on May 30th where all 8 pianos will be, as Mimi says, corralled together and performed on all at the same time over at Brookside Square the morning of the 30th.
All right. Thank you, Kate.
Sure.
So if I can share my screen, I can pull up. The plan is to have 8 pianos, and 3 of those are in the historic districts. So one is proposed for the Concord Museum, another one for in front of Middlesex Savings Bank, and then a third in the little alleyway next to the 250th benches, which is kind of it's an awkward spot, but it's right next to the post office. So to be
yeah, okay. That little alley.
Yeah, I can show you here. So in your packet that I hope you got, the one at the Concord Museum is proposed for the courtyard there in front of the new extension, just off of the path. At Middlesex Savings Bank, it would be just off the pedestrian path in the front of the building. And the one on Walden Street is just sort of tucked up against the fence towards the post office property. And the design for these, so there was a juried call for art for designers for each of these. So the one design, this is the accepted design for Concord Museum.
You see that, Tim? It's Holly Harrison, Lewis.
Yep.
Concord Art Trustee.
And then the design proposed for Middlesex Savings Bank is by Jane Holland. She did the switch box that's in Thoreau Depot.
Oh, yeah.
And then this said Wright Tavern. Originally, the plan had been for Wright Tavern, but it got moved over to Walden Street. And so this is the design for that piano.
Wow.
So there would be a little sign on each side that would have information to know about you'll be able to have a QR code to know about the pop-up activities, what the project's all about. And then the Concord Conservatory is partnering with Sing for Hope, which is a worldwide organization that does these types of projects and then help them with the call for art. So they're recognized with a small sign on the front. So as Kate mentioned, the idea would be after, I keep calling it the piano rodeo on May 30th, they would then be brought with a professional mover to each of those sites and then would be in place until June 27th. There would be ambassadors that would monitor each of the sites to make sure there's not trash and or vandalism to the pianos along the way and that they're good neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's see. Does anyone have any questions about the placement of the pianos? sorry, Mimi or Kate, I know you've told me this.
Mhm.
How long will they be up for?
A month.
They will be deployed on May 30th. Actually, they're going to be out 1 day shorter they're going to be picked up on the 26th.
Of June.
Right,
Mhm.
okay. Right. I think,
So in terms of placement, if there are three that are slated for the historic districts were not in the historic districts, what would the alternative be?
We wouldn't have any pianos in Concord Center.
Well, there are places that are not quite in the historic district, but
in Concord Center?
center proper, I understand that. Yes.
I mean, we wanted these places that have high foot traffic so that that folks will have the opportunity to experience getting to play the piano as well as seeing performances.
Sure. I understand the concept and I
Mhm.
understand the availability of that. Having owned several pianos in my time, including moving uprights around in bands, I'm a little shy of their ability to make it through a summer's weather in June.
We're only doing it for 1 month.
Yeah.
The
And
other
have them tuned
locations,
regularly?
pardon me,
Are they going to be tuned regularly?
they're going to be tuned once when they
That
go
is
out.
not in our purview, Walter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna nudge you off this.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, let's see. So one's in the Concord Museum courtyard,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And then the other one is in that alleyway next to the post office. I never know if that's north or east or wherever it is, but and then the other one's in front of Middlesex Savings. So for the commission, if you saw Ann's memo, we just try to think about for outdoor art installations if they're conflicting at all with their surroundings at all or anything like that. These are
Hey,
not-
Kate,
Yeah.
is it possible to zoom in on those little site plans to see actually where they really sit? The three
Uh,
locations.
Sure.
I
Let me
don't-
pull it up again.
Do you have that, Mimi?
Yeah.
Look at that.
So this is there's like a mulched area next to the two benches. So it would be tucked up against the fence,
Mhm.
this one. And then the one for Middlesex Savings Bank, it would be right on the lawn, right to the side of the walkway.
Actually on the lawn.
Yes.
Under
Mhm.
that tree, sort of.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the canopy goes that far over it.
Oh, yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And then the one at Concord Museum is on the grass just off of the walkway.
Can you just, is it near the terrace?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's on their terrace.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Mimi.
Okay, just to clarify, this would just be a 1 month art installation approval.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then the second thing, Mimi, have you talked to neighbors about the sound or in general for all of the pianos? Is this something you consulted with the butters?
Well, most of them are not near residences. And the pianos do have a possibility of locking down the cover if it becomes kind of a nuisance. But again, they're only there for a month, so and have got ambassadors overseeing them if it becomes an issue. And the noise and nuisance ordinance still applies, even for art installations.
Got it.
I think that's not really our purview either, probably technically, right, Kate?
That is correct. Yeah. So I think, the one that seems to be out in the open most that maybe we would give a second look at is the one on the lawn of Middlesex Savings Bank. I personally don't have any issue with it. I'm just sort of highlighting that one. If there were one that, people were going to say, oh, does it detract or add or distract? That would be possibly the one.
And I will say that this was planned also in conjunction with Middlesex Savings Bank and the Visitor Center.
Mhm.
too, and so they're very excited to have it.
Yeah, and
have
they,
it
they
there.
they do always have stuff on their lawn throughout
Yeah.
the year, you know, so, but I don't see anything else to review. I don't know if anyone else does. Let me open it to the public. Public comment on pianos on the town.
Mhm.
Anyone? I see you guys smiling, Louis, Jeff, you know, I see you smiling at me asking about this. I'm not sure. But-
I'll smile.
Like, I
too.
guess I'm thinking, of course it's not historical, but that's not the point. It's kind of it's an art exhibit. It's an art.
Mhm.
And even if it's
Exactly.
controversial, we can
The
support it.
layer.
Yeah.
It's a layer on the history.
I guess
Yeah.
I
Oh,
would suggest
Kristen.
that it is important to have a reference to the historic nature of things, and summer on the 250th. You know, my question would remain: what does this contribute to the historic district as an historic district? Is it just
Artistic dissonance, Walter. It's kind of creating a controversial dissonance with history, which creates makes people think.
Mm.
I think Thoreau would totally approve.
I
That
think
is
it
the
creates
bottom line in
fanfare
Concord.
where people are excited to come and see.
Yeah.
And that's a boon to everyone in the neighborhood,
Mhm.
all the merchants and
That is true. There is that little part of our remit in the special act language to help support the town's economic efforts, which
I know that the merchants within the vicinity of the one on Walden Street are very excited about it. Mimi checked in with every single one of them right around in that area to let them know that we wanted to place one there and to get their input. And they all replied that they're very excited about it. And we'll be having a kind of a scavenger hunt through it, so people will go from one to the other. And so it brings people around the community. We've received funding from the Revolutionary Tourists, formerly Merrimack Tourism, as to help with our marketing of the project to bring people into the community. And it's a terrific way for us to collaborate with both sides of the town and with artists.
And
oh, you know what?
what sort of signage? This mentions signage. We haven't said anything about
I was
signage.
just going to ask that. Yeah, that's sort of my only outstanding question is what
And
sort and how big?
sponsorship opportunities and signage smacks of commercialism to me.
Well, there's a plaque on the front of the piano that is features our collaborators from Sing for Hope, and our logo, and along with if there is a sponsor of the piano. And then on the side is a plaque featuring the CCM, along with a QR code that takes you to the website so that the visitor can learn about the artists too and directs them to their website, because we want to also showcase the artists that have done the work.
Oh, I see. So that's about the scale, what Mimi's showing now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's on the signage is on the piano. It's not like there's a separate.
No, it's on the piano
All right, that's pretty.
affixed to it.
Mhm.
So we just need
Well-
cell phone coverage for the QR code.
Yeah.
I figured that part out.
A
A lot of
Exactly.
frustration there.
Are we going to get those trailers back? Come on, Mimi.
I have a question about how you're going to cover them at night. I assume they'll be covered at night with a tarp of some sort.
Yes, we working with our friends at Sing from Hope. They have instructions on how we fashion tarps to be covered over the top, and each piano has a team of volunteers that keeps an eye on them and covers them up for inclement weather.
Mm-hmm.
where do they go when they're taken off?
Within the location, the host location.
All right, let's see. I think we covered any of the questions in it. Any other commissioners have outstanding queries, concerns for this 30-day project? If not, we could talk about a motion. Louis,
I would move that we approve the submission as submitted for through the 3 pianos within the historic district for 30 days.
Second.
thank you, Jeff. Tim,
Aye.
Walter,
I'm looking through the must not distract from the existing architectural design, respect the historic setting, have no tendency to overwhelm or be intrusive. So I'm, with my apologies to everybody, I'm a no.
you don't have to apologize.
Yeah.
So 1 no, 1 yes from Tim. Jeff,
I
Louis,
While I agree with Walter, there's nothing historically, harmonious. I would give it an I as an art project that is somewhat, dissonant.
yes, thank you. Good. And I am an I. So it's 4-1. It passes.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Kate. Now, Mimi, and to others who are tuned in, sometimes as a courtesy to the town, we double up their presentation so they can just present once. And this is one of those times. So, Mimi, if you want to go on to the Black History markers.
Great. I appreciate that. Last time I was with you all until 10 o'clock, so I'm glad to get to present. And I do want to give the group a chance to be involved in the development of this moves forward. Are you able? For some reason, my slideshow, as soon as I share, it makes it disappear. Hold on. So some of this is going to be a little familiar. My apologies for having it not in the best, not letting me zoom in. I'm going to kind of fast forward through the beginning part that you all have seen, kind of helpful for maybe the folks that are playing catch up. Folks know that the town is proposing a set of Black Heritage Trail markers. We were funded by the Mass Office of Travel and Tourism. A number of partners are working on this project. The idea is to do 8 to 10 trail markers, a number of which would be in the historic districts. A big part of the rationale behind this is to meet the select board goal and the town goal around telling untold stories and telling the fuller history and a layer of history that is not so commonly known about Black heritage in Concord. And one of the kind of principles that we're really starting to center on is the Sankofa, which is a Ghanaian term about to go back and get it. So basically, it's not wrong to go and remember what you forgot. And we're recognizing that a lot of this Black history had been remembered, but has been forgotten. So the same way where the town and historians are recognizing the graves of former Black residents in Concord, finding those again in the records, we're sort of seeing that as part of our efforts. The folks know that we've got a steering committee, our advisory team that's been meeting since early January. And we've been doing a lot of different public outreach. The most notable, to let you all know, is that we're doing temporary signs during the Patriots Day weekend. So for each of the sites, we've developed a lawn sign that would also have a QR code for folks to be able to learn about the project and kind of see some of the stories that we'll be telling. And we will be at we've done a podcast. We've been doing lots of different community meetings. And during the block party, we will have an outreach table for folks to be able to give us their feedback on the project. And we've also got an actual mock-up of the design that we're proposing. Some folks have been giving response about the design and the scale. And so we actually I'll be picking up from the printer on Friday an actual model of what that looks like so people will be able to see and interact with it. And so that might be a good time, a I'll see with Anne about maybe we might be able to schedule a site visit around that. So I'll kind of quickly go through the locations. We sort of looked at both them individually and as a set. This is for those temporary signs, we're going to have two, one about what's the project about, and then I'm going to show you each of the individual slides. Or this is an actual mock-up of what's at the printer. So we're planning on doing one at the Great Meadow, one in front of the townhouse about John Garrison Jr., one in front of First Parish about Frederick Douglass, John Jack's grave, at Sleepy Hollow about the unmarked graves of the Black Concordians, one in front of the Masonic, what's today the Masonic Lodge, but had been the Center School, at Tricon, the Chadwick Minkins journey from the Bigelow House, the Whiting House, telling a story about Harriet Tubman, the Garrison Homestead on Monument Street, Brister Freeman, who was living in the Cumming House, and then the Brister Freeman house site at Walden Woods. So I know a lot of you are familiar with some of this history, so I'm just kind of flipping through, and hopefully you've got the slideshow so you can see the content. And then we're sort of highlighting the Dugan neighborhood because we're recognizing there were 3 Black enclaves in the town, and it also helped us kind of do the through line with George Dugan that will tie in about where his family homestead was and tie with the Civil War Memorial. So I'm going to kind of focus most of our attention for you all, especially around the design considerations, and kind of walk through some of the process. So we recognize we wanted to be compatible with Concord's landscape, for each of the signs to work as a cohesive set, but also recognize that they're going to be in a number of different contexts. We recognize this is public infrastructure, so we want it to be durable and be appropriate for the public realm. And both from some of the feedback I heard here, but also in other contexts, we really looked at these are not going to be permanent installations. The idea is to have them somewhat relatively shorter term. And right now we're sort of looking at the agreements with some of the property owners to be a 5-year term that can then be renewed with agreements that the signs can be removed for any reason with 60 days notice by either the select board or by the property owner. And we were really looking at, because these have got a functional purpose and are meant to, they're really part of kind of the cutting edge of some of the historical inquiry here in the town, that they're part of like our living work, so that they might be updated as we go along. I know there have been concerns about inaccuracy, so we didn't want to have, I know the preference is for like a carved wooden sign, but recognizing we don't want to have that level of permanency. We want to have them be a little more flexible. And we also recognize we want these to be specifically identified as trail markers, not as historical monuments in that way. So we have contracted with Ed Maloof of Content Design Collaborative, which some folks might know. He's got a lot of experience both in interpretive signage and wayfinding, and both interior and exterior. And so he's been working with us for the last weeks. So previously, we kind of really did a survey of like all the different types of signage that are here in Concord, and there's a number of different materials, different contexts, different scales. So we recognize that there's a number of different approaches that could be compatible within the landscape. But then we dug in specifically because we're looking at trail markers, and the vernacular for trail markers is generally tall and thin, and kind of having that sort of thinner ratio in terms of their size. And then we looked at that this is really a purpose driven, and how does that going to reflect the design? So again, we want sort of the lighter materials. So we're not going to be doing cast bronze. We're not going to be doing stone. So that really leans us into sort of a printed plate, that type of material. And again, we were sort of looking at the vernacular around these types of interpretive signage in a public context. And again, a lot of these are kind of taller, thinner formats. Some of them are much more robust than the type of thing that we'd be looking at. That would be like these glass panels. Other ones that were larger in scale, that are more like a kiosk. Again, we were sort of looking at this taller, thinner that aligns more with a trail marker. And then we recognize that these are going to be in a number of different contexts, some in the woods, some in the front lawn of a house, some close to the roadway, one in a cemetery. So that really got us thinking a little bit about kind of what the posts would be in the scale again. So we recognize that we want these to be human scale to kind of have a sense of encounter. So we're looking at a marker that's about 5 feet tall and 18 inches wide. And that ratio lends itself to having both the graphic elements that we wanted and the information. We have to include our sponsors. The content is going to be positioned between 36 and 60 inches, which is about accessibility and comfortable for reading for people that are going to be right there. So the idea is to really have like an intimate and direct interaction with it. We wanted each of these to incorporate imagery and wanted some flexibility in terms of color, legibility, so that put us towards digital printing. We're planning on having like a subtle texture. So while this looks like a solid cream color, there'll be like a little bit of a texture to it that will deal with, variations in the printing, and also so it won't, it'll look all right with wear and tear. So we're looking at a number of different kind of materials, most likely an aluminum that's sandwiched with other, some kind of, whether it might be on wood, it might be on, this is where the designer needs to give me a little bit more detail, but we're sort of looking at, basically it's going to be a digital print on a metal. And so this is a mock-up of what it would, a sign would look in context. This is not like, we haven't finalized the specific locations on the site yet, but you can see here's what the panel would look like. There's a number of other signs nearby that are, on much larger scale. This is what the sign would look like if it was in front of the town.
Oh my.
So I'm eager to hear your thoughts.
They're big. Bigger than expected.
Yeah, I agree. The last one was particularly big.
When you say Kristen, the last one, all the signs that were
Was that in front of the townhouse? That one was very big. What about turning them on their sides? So it's the profile that you see.
Do you mean like rotating the panel so it's horizontal rather than vertical?
Yeah, so you step aside and you look at a
90-degree rotation of the placement.
What
So rotated
did
on
you say, Walter?
axis.
Just you're talking about rotating it 90 degrees from the axis it's on.
Yeah. Did you agree or not agree?
I'm not voicing an opinion one way or the other. I'm trying to
Oh, okay.
how it would work.
My confusion.
Mimi was asking for clarification as to what you meant.
Yeah, that's clarification.
So I mean, so you turn it 90 degrees, but particularly on a corner, you're
It's
just
still
going to
large.
walk down a different way and sort of see that. And that would be kind of the palette, Mimi, that we saw of some of the ones you showed. I mean, it is kind of a muted palette, which is good.
Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like the muted palette.
Mm-hmm.
It reads well.
Yeah. But I just have to, I guess, they're a lot bigger than I expected, or I wasn't expecting photographs. I don't know what I was expecting. So in case you were going to ask that, I don't have an answer to that. But for instance, that's a picture of John Garrison, that's a
This
picture
one's
of
Frederick Douglass.
or any of the pictures. That's big. I mean, we don't have images like that around town. We guess maybe we haven't had them come up, so that's why. But it's like there's not a context that I can compare these to.
Can you
I
go
think-
back to the townhouse one? Yeah.
And these are going to be up for 5 years, is that right? Or
So the agreements with the property owners would be for 5 years, but basically the term can be changed by the vote of the select board or the property owner.
so they'll become really a part of the town fabric.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think, people will be interested in what they have to say, and it's, an interesting, worthwhile project for sure. But,
But
wow,
it's a
we
signage
haven't
that's
allowed
blocking,
signs like this before. I mean,
it's a signage that's blocking the front facade of a historic building.
yeah, I think this is one that, uh, we don't necessarily, I don't necessarily want to meddle with the design of the signs, but we will probably have to get kind of granular on exactly where they go because they are so big. I mean, 5 feet by 1.5 feet, it's a big sign.
I've been talking for 3 minutes and I realize I've been muted the entire time.
No, you weren't. We heard you. We just,
No, we did not hear you, Tim.
Just ignore. That's what I figured. You just ignore him.
oh,
No,
okay.
I have to totally concur with Kate. This is not the scale. I mean, we just don't have anything like this in town. For 5 years, they're just major signs and so much bigger than anything I was imagining.
Mhm.
We have no precedent for this, and they will dominate. I mean, they're as big as a major traffic sign. I think the graphics
They're
look
bigger
great.
than that.
Yeah, the quality of the graphics, just first blush looks very sophisticated, and certainly we're never arguing with the content. It's just the size. Just I think is just enormous.
Mm. Uh,
Yeah, I think they will dominate the landscape. There's going to be so many in a fairly concentrated area at that
Yeah.
size.
Paul, did you have anything like this happen in Groton?
No, I'm trying to think of example. I mean, there's some things in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, that are sort of this. It's I think, an African American
Mm.
cemetery that's now like paved over, I guess. And the signage there is pretty big, but it's very concentrated, right? And there's sort of memorials on the ground that are pretty interesting. In terms of the material, so it's aluminum, but it's matte, right? So it's not, right? Okay. Yeah, I mean the scale seems large, and I also sort of wonder. I mean, having written museum wall labels, right? I mean, the volume of text. I wonder if that's a way to sort of shift some of the scale a little bit. But I think, yeah, fundamentally, the 5 foot height right in front of a building becomes a little bit of a challenge.
And they're really 6 feet plus. I mean, there's 5 feet of sign plus post, right? Um,
Oh, is that right?
It's, yeah, 6 feet total.
It's huge. I mean, we don't allow 6 feet fences.
yeah,
I'm thinking about the signage, the historical signage in Boston, and were there metal signs embossed? They're old. They don't have as much verbiage, but they tell a story.
Mhm. It's all, I mean,
I think there's one by the burial ground. There's one by the church there on Tremont Street. Is at the King's Chapel.
I mean,
the-
I don't know.
The
You know,
contents is only about, I think there's only about 70 words on it total.
I, I think you can probably tell me, I mean, it doesn't, I'm less concerned about the number of words. I don't, see how we can, absorb, 10 6-foot signs in the historic district. I mean, I
For
just,
5+ years.
yeah, I mean, I'd have a hard time for a summer or a year. I just,
Not to mention what the next round that needs to have 10 signs put up generates as well.
so I mean, I understand that, there's a grant for this project and a lot of interest in it. So, we want to work with you, but, uh, it's a lot.
Well, I appreciate the feedback. We're still, this is kind of our first pass.
Okay.
So, we've got 2 more months to finalize this. So we'll kind of incorporate the feedback, and we'll hopefully get a lot more feedback this weekend and be able to kind of incorporate it as we go. We've been working on an iterative process, and we'll iterate another round.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't, I think they would have to be like half the size. I mean, I just to throw something out there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, commissioners, any thoughts on that? Or could there be a way where there's text on one side and the image on the other? The images look very cool, but on the other hand, a dozen, 2 foot tall photographs basically around town is,
I could imagine something that was low, that was like a foot off the ground, angled, something that didn't distract from the building itself.
I think I think maybe that's what I had in mind too, something that was more like 2 feet and angled, like that you see and you look and you go, oh, you read this. I
Yeah,
don't know how that would accommodate any graphic.
the question isn't content or the graphics. It's just the imposing nature of it, and it ends up being not harmonious with everything else that is already there. It dominates. Given the proposed size, it absolutely dominates, just not by content and not by image, but just physically by its size.
Well, actually, the image does add to the impact too, though. I mean, if it
Well,
were just,
sure.
So we'll continue to think about this too, but I think you can tell from our reaction, this is a lot more than we were expecting.
One thing that I wanted to ask you, Mimi, about was, have you looked into anything related to the Underground Railroad in Concord?
Some of the sites are highlighting the Underground Railroad.
Okay, because there are also private houses, and I don't know if a walking tour would be something useful.
There is a Black Heritage, there's a Patriots of Color walking tour, and I believe there is a Black Heritage walking tour. And this was based on the bigger set of sites that the Robbins House developed. So yeah, there's, I think, about 35 sites altogether. So we're just doing a small number of them.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you all for your time and your feedback, and I'll see you next month.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Mimi. Good night. All right, so that was that for now, and we'll go on to our next item, which I can't remember because we had some changes and cancellations. Is it the Dennis Burns? Is he
It
up
looks
next?
like, yeah, that's what would
50
be.
Monument Street. The Burns is being represented by Sudbury Design.
Hi,
Peter, hi.
Peter Furlong, Sudbury Design Group, for Burns residents. We are proposing, let me share my screen. So we are proposing fences in 2 locations. Can you see my screen?
Not yet, but it says you've started screen sharing, so it is connected. There we are. Yep.
Okay. Okay, so we're proposing fences in 2 locations. One on the south side of the house, highlight. You'll see the area, looking at this plan, you'll see the areas in yellow of the areas where we're proposing changes to. South side of the house, we're proposing a fence there, and the north side of the garage, far corner, a fence up there. In addition, we need to build a wall on this corner of the garage in order to get the fence level in that area. So it would be pretty much hidden by the plantings once it's built, but we do need to build. There is a little bit of a wall over there, so we are reconstructing it and changing the elevations there. And then we are proposing to do a cobble edge on the existing gravel driveway. We are only going to the property line unless the owner gets permission or right-of-way permission. Their driveway currently goes over the property line, and he's working with the neighbor, see if he could get a right-of-way there. But right now, we're just going to go to the property line. And then 2 cobblestone aprons, both this one being off Monument Street and on the property. And And so I can show you this is the proposed lattice fence at the garage. You can see where we have a grade change and we need to build this wall. This is going to be going down lower. This wall goes back. There will be some from the back side, you will see some of this wall here, and from the front side, on this side, you'll see some of this wall. This would be all planted out. So then the fence turns at an angle to follow the grades, putting a double gate in there and then going up to the existing wire fence there. And then on the south side, we're just again proposing the same similar style fence, just again with double gate. And we're putting double gates just for maintenance in there, getting lawnmowers in and out, cleaning out in the fall, with the leaves and things like that. So that's why we are proposing double gate, 5-foot fence because they have a active lab, and they really want to keep that dog in the yard. The fence,
There's no fence there right now?
so there's a temporary wire fence up there right now. You can see, again, this is the south side, this highlighted area where you would see that fence there. And then there it is. There it is closer up there now. This is on the north side of the garage, that red area, cobble apron approximately right there, highlighted there. And just a stone wall would be similar to the stone wall. This is in the backyard. And this is the same, this is where the inspiration for the fence came. This is a fence / railing between the garage and the house currently. And there's just an idea of a cobble apron and a cobble edge with a gravel driveway.
What's the driveway right now?
Gravel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Questions?
Okay. Was everyone able to get a grip on that? The photographs at the end were helpful.
You want me to go back to them?
Does anyone need to see them?
No, not yet.
How tall is the fence?
5 feet.
5 feet.
View from street to proposed fence.
Would it be painted or natural wood?
We are proposing solid PVC painted. So just because, with rot and everything, it's a longer lasting material. And really, once it's painted, it's very hard to tell that it's a PVC. It's not a hollow PVC, it's solid PVC.
So it's an AZEK kind of
Yeah,
equivalent.
exactly. Correct.
Is it AZEK?
Yes. Well, we have a quote from Perfection Fence, and they call it their Perfection equivalent to AZEK. But yes, AZEK is a brand name.
Yeah, I know. I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
We were just talking about AZEK earlier today. This photo right here, is this visible from the public way at all? Remember, that's the only thing we need to be concerned about.
Oh, no. Well, it's if you go back, let me go back here. So it's right here connecting
Okay.
the garage to the house. That's currently there.
Okay. And all right.
So it's two fences on each end of the house for
Exactly.
garage, way
Correct.
set quite a ways back.
Right. I believe the first one is about 75 feet. I had written it in the thing of 75 feet, and the other one's even further back from the right-of-way Monument Road. I don't have my exact measurements here.
And so it would be, if you're looking at the house from the street, on both sides of the house, there'll be fence that's visible.
Yes, correct.
It'll be running parallel basically to the street.
Correct.
Is there a scenario at all where they do not have to run parallel to the street, that at least one side just goes straight back? Because one thing that we try to avoid the look of in the historic district is kind of gated community. And a 5-foot fence extending on both sides to me is a little sort of gated community.
The reason we have a wall right here running. It would probably be impossible here. This one, I mean, I guess we could look at it. The grades are so tricky in that area. Just if you see these are the contour lines going up, it's just going right up a hill. So it possible. We did not look at that scenario. It would be challenging though.
You're trying to create a flat spot where
the gates
fence returns to the garage.
Yes.
And then once it starts to go along the property line, it is going up the hill, right?
It is. And this is not straight parallel. I mean, we did turn it at an angle on this side.
So you could, I'm just following Kate's discussion, you could spring off that garage and just go up the hill at an angle. I know it reduces the contained area a bit, but because I share Kate's concerns. I mean, it's quite a ways back, but it's fencing in a backyard with a fairly substantial. I mean, I think I look at the fence, and painted AZEK is pretty good, but just trying to diminish those, even though they're set back and they're not very long of what you see. If there's a way you could diminish one of them,
I would say also as a corollary to what you're saying, Tim, I doubt that we are going to be excited about having a 5-foot high fence. And if the fence ran perpendicular to the back of the garage and up the hill and was not visible from the public way, it would give you the flexibility to have a higher fence.
we don't categorically deny fences of 5 or 6 feet high.
I understand.
But I agree, if we could lessen the impact of these two wing walls that are kind of looking like they're enclosed in the backyard.
Natural wood might help that. I know we're not allowed to design, but it's the bright whiteness that would be very visible.
Does the lattice pattern, it matches the photograph that you showed of the other fence as well?
It does. It's an exact match of it.
Okay, so it's actually like quite large squares in terms of the visual appearance as you're facing it, and like a lot of open space rather than a lot of like latticing.
Yes, it's exactly that.
Oh, okay, it's like that. It's a good point.
Yeah, thank you.
Is the plan to paint those the fences white?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, what if you match the color of those doors, and that looks like a dark green? They might go away or be less visible.
The only thing is with AZEK, paint in a dark color can be sometimes problematic. I'd have to check with them because of the heat heats it up and there's
that is problematic. I think dealt with that.
The dark colors on it, yes.
But you're right, the dark color, the dark green and the black disappear the most.
Yeah. They disappear the most. Silvered cedar next, white the least.
They're not that big of pieces though. The movement might not be, too bad, but
you're not dealing with great big sheets of it. It's small stuff.
Right.
You mean on either having them on both sides?
Well, if they were painted dark color, they're in small enough segments. So, if it moves 1%, it's only going to move 1/8 of an inch on that.
Oh, you mean the material itself.
With the dark color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right, because of the heat. Right. I see what you mean. Peter, could you tell me again, how long are the segments on either side?
They're about 6 feet each side of the fence. It's about 18 feet, a 6 foot gate, 6'6". On this one, again,
Oh,
it's just
okay. Oh, so yeah, I shouldn't have said segment. I meant like, what's the length of fence on either side, the total length of fence on either side? Like, what are we looking at?
about 18 feet here
Oh,
and about we got a 6 foot, 7, 8, probably 12 feet on this side, but on the garage side. But that again, that turns a little, so it will look a little less because it's turning up the hill.
oh yeah, I don't know how we could have white fences here. 18 feet of white fence. I mean,
Just following along that, Peter, does looking at on the site plan here, the bottom one that connects with the barn. Is this all new fencing? You've got
So
the yellowed part, but how about the part that connects back to the barn?
So I was told this was existing. They renovated this barn and did a bunch of work and brought this all down. And when they did, they took this fence out. So this was going back, and it would again be the black wire mesh, and with planting, putting it up against the existing arborvitae, and then doing a hedge on the inside of it. So it's going to be sandwiched right between it. You're never going to see that black mesh fence there. But I thought it was existing.
Sorry, you're saying it is existing?
Well, it has been taken out due to the work they did to the barn. They put a bathroom in here, and they had to bring sewer down and connect to the street, and everything had to come out. All the plantings and everything came out. I wasn't involved at that time. It was only been
Okay. So, but are you putting a new fence back?
yes, right there, correct.
And what is that material that you're putting back?
Just a black chain link fence.
Is that the same on the other side of the
That's
property
the
as
same.
well?
That's up along the back of the property. Correct.
I'm bringing that up because I know it's way back, but it's potentially visible as well when it connects to the barn way back there. I don't know, it's just, we'd have to go look at it or something, but
This fence is currently in here. I don't.
which one?
This black fence. We actually have a gate right here that's really tilted, and
Okay,
it
so that
goes back
exists.
along here and come back around, connects to the barn. And this was here, and it connected to the house again, black. Um,
Yeah.
but we've
Okay,
tried to improve the look of it.
I get you. Thank you.
Yeah, I would have to
Uh,
think somebody's passed this house so many times. It's such a pure, beautiful white farmhouse. I think anything that's going to distract from that singularity of the farmhouse is going to be distracting, So I don't think we want to see the fence if there is going to be a fence.
mhm. I think we're all leaning in that direction. Any other comments from commissioners?
well, I just, um, not to pile on Peter, but, the cobblestone banding apron detail is just, we continue to have that submitted. We continue to reject it.
Okay.
So we just really, are not, accepting that as a feature that used to be done in Concord. It's the last sort of 30-year detail. So I don't know how commissioners feel
How about the
about
cobble edge? Are you the same way?
Cobble edge?
I mean, we certainly approved cobble edges,
Yeah.
and I don't know if people are concerned about. There's an apron in front of the garage as well. That doesn't concern me, given it's so far back and it's connected to the garage. It's just the one at the street.
Oh wait, there were two cobble aprons?
Yes.
Oh yeah, the one right in front of the garage.
And then at the street.
Oh yeah, I'm with Tim, the one closer to the street, we don't. We don't encourage those or approve them. One's right in front of the garage. I mean, that garage, that's what, 60, 70,
It's not the same kind of apron as the one in the front of the driveway. I think.
yeah.
So is the commissioner suggesting that a 5-foot fence as designed might be acceptable if it was painted a dark green and those two side by side, not side by side, excuse me, the one side of the house and other side of the house? Are we objecting to the fence or are we objecting to the color?
I have reservations about the color, and I have reservations about the fence on both sides of the house. Even if
So
it's,
both.
I mean, I get they want a fence and I'm not, morally opposed to it, but it's that kind of gated community look that we try to
Yeah.
avoid.
Do we have a drawing or a doctored picture of what it would actually look like in place with the fences on either side? Did I miss that?
No, I did not do a drawing. I did
I
not.
think that's critical for
Those are, yeah.
Well,
understanding.
Peter, is the fence, is this oriented? Yeah, it was oriented north. Is the fence on the north side currently a chain link fence with a gate?
Yes.
So just everybody should be aware that there's a chain link fence there now. So,
Where is the chain link fence?
and
Not
there was a chain link fence on the south side that Peter's replacing in kind. We could debate the timing of that, but it's a chain link situation that he's trying to improve upon. The owners are.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, just for clarity, there's a chain link fence connecting to the garage. That's
correct.
currently in place?
Peter,
Correct. I don't know if you can see it in one of these pictures. Yeah, you can. It's in this picture, but we went over it.
if you go back to the site plan, Peter,
Yep.
just so everybody knows, if you go up to the garage, that stone wall, that's a chain link fence that goes up the sheet, all around the back of the property. And as I understand it, Peter, eventually connects back to the barn, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That's an existing chain link fence. Then there was another chain link fence that went with the diagonally opposite corner back to the house.
Yes.
And that which he's technically could replace in kind because that got removed when they did the work. And now they want to put it back. Let's say, I don't think that'd be an unreasonable request by an owner to say, we just want to put back what was there in kind.
Okay.
So they're saying, well, we'd like to improve that existing fence. Because they could say, well, okay, if you don't want us to improve it, we're just going to leave the chain link fence. I mean, not to put words in Peter's mouth, but
no, it's a good point.
just want to point out that we're not dealing with no fence. We're dealing with an existing fence that they're trying to improve.
Okay. All right.
Peter, I'm speaking for you here. Forgive me.
Thank you.
If I
No,
misspeak, just correct me because
no, you have not. I appreciate the support.
All right, let's see. While we digest that, I'll see if there is any public comment to the fencing at 50 Monument Street. Feel free to raise your hand. I have no raised hands. We double check. No raised hands. All right, so back to the commissioners. Well, would somebody like to make a motion?
Well, before we make a motion, so the question as you're presenting it, Tim, is do we as a commission prefer to have the chain link fence existing in position or quote unquote upgrade to a 5-foot high white fence?
or possibly 5-foot high painted dark fence, or
Right.
possibly a 5-foot
Before-
high some other fence.
Right, but before we have a motion, I think we should probably figure out.
I agree with
Well, not
Walter.
necessarily. That's part of the point of a motion.
Oh, I understand. How about this? I think maybe we need to figure out just what it is.
you could say something, and if well, we don't agree with your motion, we don't second it.
Yeah, right. I understand. No, I'm saying that's the philosophical question here. The chain link fence, since none of us realized perhaps that it was even there from the presentation, by its nature, is less perhaps visually intrusive than the alternative, which may or may not
So,
be considered to be an upgrade.
Well, it's true. Walter, you and I were basically practically in front of this house today, and I didn't notice
No,
it.
right.
But be that as it may, does someone have a strong enough feeling to put forth a motion? We'll see how it goes.
well, I would, sorry, what is the address of this property?
50 Monument, 50 Monument.
50 Monument. I propose that we have a continuance for 50 Monument. Peter has received, parenthetically, Peter has received comments and our concerns and thoughts. We're not here to let's solve the situation, but so I'm clarifying but anyway, I'm proposing a continuance for 50 Monument.
Are you suggesting a site visit in concert?
That's a good idea. I would add and recommend a site visit.
All right. Then we need a second.
Second.
Okay. I'll go around for a vote. So this is to continue, get some more feedback from Peter. Is that right? Other images? And you got and have a site visit. Is that correct? You guys want a site visit? Then we have a second. So Jeff, how do you vote?
Aye.
Walter?
I'm an aye.
Okay. Tim?
Aye.
Lewis?
So that site visit would be Wednesday the 6th, right?
Mm-hmm. And I'm an aye. So that's what we'll do on May 6th. Is that all right, Peter?
Yeah, so
It
I'll
would
let
be
the
8
home.
o'clock. We just show up, take a look. The context always really helps.
Okay, I'll inform the homeowner. Do I need to be there?
They don't need to be there. You don't need to be there. Someone needs to be there.
Okay.
So
Okay.
a deputy of yours, but the Burnses don't need to be there. It's just, yeah.
Did you give a time? I'm sorry, did I miss the time? Did you say a time?
It would be at 8 a.m.
Okay.
It could be at 8:30. I mean, we usually have them at 8 and 8:30 but
Okay.
you're the first one scheduled for tonight, so that puts you at 8, if that's okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
right.
And that's it. We sort of come in, we do our thing, and then we convene again that night like we did tonight, and vote. I do.
Okay.
All
I
right.
appreciate your feedback. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for your
Sure.
presentation.
Bye.
Okay, so all right, thank you, commissioners. Moving rapidly forth to, okay, this is where things bounce around a bit. Continued public hearing. So, 52 Bow Street, the Mannings, is this their time?
I
think that's
believe
right.
that's next on the hit parade.
Is that right? Yeah, let's see, because we got just continue. Do we have to vote? Wait,
Oh,
do we have to vote on the continuances for Kai's Road?
I move we accept all the continuances as discussed.
Hey, someone second that? You're the secretary. That's legit. Do we have a second? Tim seconds that.
Second.
Okay, great. Jeff,
Aye.
I, Lewis,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Walter.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Just to be on the safe side, we have voted to approve the 3 continuances that are before us. And there will be another continuance in other business. Okay, so this takes us to 52 Bow Street, where we had an excellent window presentation this morning for the lucky ones who were able to brave traffic and get there. So I don't know if Mickey, are you presenting, or Chris, are you presenting?
Hi, Kate, it's Chris. I am presenting tonight.
Okay, all right, super.
Okay. Can you see a share yet or no?
Yep.
Okay. So Kate and team, thank you for showing up this morning bright and early. we discussed a window project that we're trying to do. Our renovation is probably halfway done right now.
Mhm.
So we have currently 13 non-original windows in the property right now that we're looking to replace, of which this is a list of the entire portfolio of windows. There are 6 casement windows and then 6 additional non-original windows that we're touching. So we are not touching any originals on the property at all. And then there's 2 fiberglass doors that we're going to change to wood, and then there's a vinyl slider that we're going to change to a wood slider. And then I'll just walk you through that as we go here. So when I say it's a non-original window, when I pointed this out to Kate this morning, you'll see the aluminum track in all these windows. There are the majority of the windows in the house are built with this aluminum track and spring. Hence the reason why we know that they are non-original and they were probably installed sometime 1960, 1970. So that's what I sort of determine as a non-original window. And you'll see the casement windows, we have them all numbered here. These are all tied back to the index on the first page that you have. But this is original casement above the garage that we're looking to replace with an Andersen A400 series. So all the replacement double hung windows will look exactly like the original ones that are in all Andersen 400 series windows. Just to give you a little perspective, this is a little shot of Bow Street in total. There are windows behind this fencing that you see here that we're looking to replace as well. I know this slide is a little bit busy, but you know, you have the designation for each window that we're looking to replace. They're all numbered, either casement or non-original window or the door. This is the preponderance of changes that we're looking to happen on the property. And all these windows, specifically 3, 4, and 5, or all have those aluminum channels installed in them. And I think you're familiar with all the casements that are there. If you look to the very right-hand side of the page, you'll see an original window. All the trim that we're going to use on the project is going to be 1x6 to match the original trim. And we'll be installing historic sills to match the sills that are already installed as well. And then you'll also notate this is the slider that will be replaced with an Andersen wood slider as well. And then the fiberglass door that you see marked at position A is going to be a Stinson wood door that will be painted. Number 9, this is 9 window. This is off the kitchen. Once again, a non-original window with the aluminum channel. We have a casement on the back side, and this faces Lang Street. Number 10, casement window that we'd like to replace as well. This is a slider in the backyard, I guess best seen in a small opening from Lang Street. This currently does not meet code. We bought the house back in October. As you can see, there is some sort of fencing on the inside of the house when we bought it, so the prior owners could sell it. So we're trying to get this to code number 1, and our goal would be to install a Juliet balcony made of wrought iron in black. For this opening, it's 3 feet wide, and it would go from side to side of the slider, and we'd also be trimming that back out again as needed with similar trim. So here's a picture of the balcony that would be bolted onto the back of the house to make that code compliant. It's all wrought iron. It's French inspired, if anyone is concerned. We were, I guess, trying to make it match the house a little bit. So this is where my wife Terry had picked this one. We have the specs here. They're in the documentation that we submitted as well, if you want to take a deeper dive on this, but they meet all Massachusetts specs for code as far as the way the railings are placed and situated. And then this is the back of the house. Item number C is also a fiberglass door that's going to be changed to an Andersen, a Stinson wood door. And then 11, 12, and 13 are once again all the windows that have the aluminum channels in them that we're replacing. We have the specs for the Andersen 400. I think you're familiar with this.
Mhm.
The Simpson door specs, right? So you're going to have the two glass panels. It's a 4-panel door with two glass panels in it. These currently match the look of the front and the side door that we currently have. So we're staying within the same sort of tone of the entire house. The slider specs, I think you guys have probably approved this one in the past. We're getting rid of the really poor vinyl sliders that are leaking currently. And then lastly, I know we talked last month about this. We're looking to replace the gutters with fiberglass gutters around the property with the G75 spec. These are fiberglass gutters that will be painted the same color of the house with corresponding downspouts. The current gutters on the house are all wood and very, very rotted at this point. So as you can see, got a bunch of colors you can pick from. We will color match the house to make sure the gutters are the same color. There's a little picture of it. You can see not probably too clearly about how some of these gutters are installed. These gutters have been installed and approved on Bow Street in similar houses. I think back in 2014 they were approved at a neighbor's house as well.
Mhm.
So that's my 5-minute pitch for everybody.
All right. I would add that we saw from the site visit today that the non-conforming slider window thing where Terry Manning would like to put the Juliet balcony is virtually invisible from public space. There's sort of a little tiny area. So in case you're kind of wondering how visible will that balcony be, very, very little visibility. Tim and I walked around that site. Remember, Tim, we thought we could see everything. We couldn't actually see this space,
Yep.
which was interesting. So anyway, I'll just throw that out there. Let's see. Any questions from the commissioners?
I have a question. Are there any original windows in the building?
They're on the on both first and second floor, and they're all staying.
Are you taking your cue from those windows for the ones that you're changing?
Correct. Correct.
Thanks.
The windows are not in great shape, so over time they're going to need some work, but we'll restore those as historic windows. We've been in contact with Cleary already, so they've been a great provider so far.
These are all, Terry, these are all essentially, remind me, I think, taking all casements out and putting equivalent sized double hungs in. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And it's 2/2 everywhere?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And Tim, you might remember from the prior meeting, there was a window on the Monroe Street side. There was a window we were looking at that had kind of a pronounced header and
Right.
sill. And we had asked Mickey, are you going to make them all like that? And they weren't sure. And then when we were there again today, Terry said, Terry and Chris and Mickey all said, we're just leaving that window as sort of the outlier. It's just staying that way with the
Yep.
more pronounced
Right.
trim, but the rest won't have that.
Right, it's just a 1x6
Yeah.
side
1x6.
and top and a historic sill, right?
Mhm.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah, so that will be fine. Okay, let's see. Jeff and Walter were there. Kristen or Paul, any questions about this? Anything you see?
No, I think it's just so much clearer than it was the
Yeah,
last time it came in front of us. And
someone really went to town with PowerPoint in the.
yeah,
This one was a
like
team effort for
little
everybody.
sticky
Was it really?
note, like numbers were so clear, crystal clear.
Great,
They
thanks.
set the standard, I think.
That's true. We got spiral bound copies. for
There you
people.
go.
Yeah, for people who didn't make it to the site visit.
They weren't signed.
Yeah,
though.
Kate, that's my 30 years in sales making presentations. So.
Nice. Okay. All right. So let's see. Let me ask for public comment on the window update and little balcony addition to Bow Street.
And gutters.
And the gutters. Thank you, Walter. That's right. Any neighbors who are following up? No. No, okay. Any other last minute questions from the commissioners before I
I
ask?
do, yeah. Just
Yeah.
are they going to be vinyl, and what color would they be?
The gutters?
They're gonna be,
No,
they're gonna be
I'm sorry,
black.
the windows. They're Anderson 400s. Are you getting the vinyl clad, or are you going to get the wood exterior and paint them?
There'll be wood exterior painted black.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Wood exterior.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I had one stray question also, which was when you say the gutters are going to match the house color, which
Yes.
color are you matching?
The trim color.
Okay. I'd assume that, but I don't like to assume.
And then just one last, and with apologies for not being able to make it this morning. And then, I'm new, so I didn't see the last one. But the visibility of the balcony, it looks like it's sort of obscured back there. But can you sort of explain?
You can't see it.
You can't see it. Yeah,
No.
that's sort of what I
Not
thought.
a, not a
You only can
concern.
see like the top of the slider.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
It's true. They said that to us at the last meeting, and Tim and I were, didn't think so. And
Yeah,
then when I was there
sure.
today, I was like, oh wow, okay, yeah, you really cannot really see this. Okay, then how about a motion from somebody?
I move that we approve 52 Bow Street as submitted.
Great, a second.
Second.
And Jeff, how do you feel about that? Great, thanks. Lewis,
Aye.
Walter,
Aye.
Tim,
All right.
and I'm an aye. So thank you, Team 52 Bow Street. We'll look forward to seeing it all happen.
Great. Thank you for your time.
Thanks for your time.
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Thanks. Good night. Okay. Now 52 Bow Street has happened. Does that mean 83 Monument is far behind? I don't think so. There you are, 83 Monument.
It's funny how that works.
Ideally. All right, let's see. It's only 8:36, Joanna. Pretty good.
That's good. I might get my dinner before 10 o'clock. Last time John brought me in dinner, I think it was 10.
Right,
But
well,
you guys
John-
sit there a lot longer than I do. So, well, thank you again for, working through this with us and for the site visit today. For those of you who could make it, I hope that was helpful.
It was.
And we've done a little bit of work since we last met. And Elise, who's here with me, she'll come on and help with any questions that she's better adept at answering than me. But she did a rendering, I think, that was submitted because there was a comment about sort of, the authenticity of the house itself and then it looking a little different in the back. So some of you saw that when you came to the visit, but we also submitted that with shingles. I don't know if you want to describe any more about that than the sort of attempt to
Yes, hi,
address it.
Elise Stone. Hi. So what we did is we stepped the second floor back a little more to really keep the corner of the existing house. We put corner boards on that left side corner. We have it on the other side, so we did the same. And then we did the back and shingles with the thought of painting them all the same color, but it would just have a slightly different texture and look to it.
And that's an option to address that and I'd be interested in the committee's thoughts on that. We did have a window person come out. It just happened, so we haven't really gotten a report per se, but he went through. None of the windows are operable. They're pretty much in total disrepair. He said it's they're nailed shut. They're caulked. It's some of them. I think some weather stripping was put on, and then they've been painted several times over. So it's a lot, also to even get access to the original windows. So that's as far as we've gotten with those. And then I think, we had everyone come look and then sort of assess how from the public view, what sort of the massing, the question about that. I think those were the biggest concerns, what we left with. And Joel also Bissell is on the Zoom to help as well. So that's sort of I guess where we could start. I mean, I want to sort of address anything else around it, but the full application and try and see where I can help.
Okay, great. Thank you. Yes, Walter, Jeff and I were able to make it to this morning's site visit. Other people were out of town. So for the ones who weren't there, let's see if start with any of your questions, if you have any. Or if you've had a chance to see it. I think and also Walter, you had some questions at the end of our tour.
I do. Is this to me then?
Yeah, let's go with
Sure.
you.
Yeah, I do have questions. So at the meeting that we had last time around, one of the questions that I asked was how close the build out came to the wetlands there, and I think the answer was it was within 6 inches or so, and which reinforces my sense of the entire project that it seems to be. Obviously, you're trying. If I can assume, as much as I don't like to assume, maximizing the return by maximizing the size of the house. And that's been something that has bothered me all along. Kind of things bother me. Have you familiarized yourself with the Macris report for the property?
The what report?
Macris report?
It's acronym MACRIS.
Massachusetts Cultural Resource Information System, which is something that houses of significance, just about all of them have. And so, I was not familiar with the history of this house, as I'm not with many of them until we're presented with them. But you mentioned, just as an aside, the corner boards. One of the things in the report, which is an historical analysis and record of the house, is, go to page here, in the Macris, one detail unusual in Concord is the 3/4 round molding at the house corners, replacing the more common corner boards. So we were wondering what was going on with those, with the corners, and it seems like it may be quite a notable feature of the house. But what the biggest takeaway from the Macris, I think, is that house seems to have been recommended for listing in the National Register of Historic Places by location as much as anything. But the last thing, and this is for my fellow commissioners' knowledge as much as anything, the last part of the Macris report says this house meets the criteria for listing on the National Register as part of the residential district of well-preserved buildings of the 19th to early 20th centuries at Concord Center as an excellent example of small-scale Greek Revival vernacular architecture in its gable end outer entry form. It meets criterion C. It possesses integrity of design, location, setting, materials, and workmanship, feeling, and association. And the thing that I have kept coming back to is, in terms of the build out and the massing of this building as it's proposed, is that one of the things that Concord lacks is, and this goes back, one of the things Concord lacks is buildings for people to live in on a sort of human scale as they get older. And I understand that there's a big rush to maximize the size of buildings to maximize return. But one of the things from this proposal is you end up with just a patio built up on the side of the driveway to put a picnic table out there, and that's the extent of of the usable outdoors. I believe that's what's been suggested several times, and it just seems to me a shame to be not taking full account of the beauty of its scale, especially in a situation, a market, in a community where buildings of that scale are essentially non-existent and triggering any number of people leaving town because they can't find something that they can live in that's manageable that way. And going back to the maximizing return on things, I would suggest that some of these buildings, rather than being maxed out dimensionally, could be maxed out in terms of their convenience and quality of the build, and be able to generate the same amount of interest and income. That's my takeaway from this morning.
I
So,
have a hard time going past the recommendation for the National Register in terms of its uniqueness and the quality of its construction.
so could I just please answer this?
Sure.
This house on the inside is in very, very bad condition. Number one. Number two, it is unlivable. The staircase is 30 inches wide. The house rooms are incredibly tiny. The bathroom doesn't even function on the second floor. And I looked at this house with probably 3 other end users, and all of them came through. And I understand what you're saying about maximizing profit. And I don't think, honestly, that that's necessarily the purview. You have to look at where this house is located and the amount of money that it was sold for. And the people that I was looking at it as end users, they could not buy the house and get it livable. Okay, that's the first thing. Secondly, that garage, we are only pushing the garage back maybe 10 feet. The garage is a massing that is sitting there now with the driveway that comes around. Yes, we're putting that raised patio to give them some outdoor space to sit, but there is right now no outdoor space to sit because the driveway's there, unless you count sitting to the right of the garage, which then slopes off very quickly. So I understand what you're saying about the maximizing of it, but this is smaller than many houses right around it. It really is. And the narrowness of the lot means that it has to go down, very similar to the house to the left, to the house across the street, to all the houses. And it is, I understand people want to preserve it. Then who's going to buy a house at this price for that size? That is not attainable in this area, in this town. It just isn't. And I feel it's wrong for the Historic Commission to comment on that because, it's anyway. Do you want to add to that, Joanne?
Well, I will say I do understand what you're saying, and I understand the position. And if that's stepping over the bounds in terms of suggesting an alternative, you have my sincere apology. Part of that is triggered also, though, by going up across the street and looking back and realizing that that the sections added to the back are certainly going to be visible from public way in a way that the current garage isn't. There's just no getting around the fact that there's an awful lot more house being proposed, and it's not especially obscured from the public view up that way. And
No, and neither is the neighbors. Okay,
Well,
neither are the
we're not-
neighbors.
not
That was
talking about
approved by the Historic Commission a number of years ago.
Mhm.
I feel it's disingenuous to agree on one thing but not the other, and to say this house has to stay small because it's been there it's the only one left on the street.
Well, to my defense, I wasn't saying it had to be kept small. I was suggesting that there are alternatives to making it larger. If you have done an analysis and understand that that is not at all economically feasible in any condition, then that is, there you are.
Yeah.
And I'm stepping aside.
Thank you for referring to the Macris report, but yes, we should not comment too much on other aspects outside of our remit. But it's, and I agree with, it's for people on the historic district, it's a very appealing, attractive house as it is, but certainly if you go around to the back, you can also, even just from the outside, see some of the condition that it's in and what anyone is up against there, dealing with this project. Let's see, Jeff.
Just Kate, I would just say that our goal is not to modernize at the expense of history and the historical nature of this. And we want to ensure, that the Greek Revival Vernacular House remains, recognizably historic and truly also livable for the next 50 years. And I don't think we ever proposed anything about maximizing returns in our argument for what we're doing. And in fact, I find that kind of offensive, but
I'm sorry if I said, I'm sorry, I did not mean it at all to be offensive.
Well, there was a lot of assumptions in what was said, so I'm trying to gather my thoughts in a way. I think I've done other houses in the historic district, and we've gotten good, sort of compliments about the sensitivity and thoughtfulness in the way that we do it. And we do it because we care that it is held to, it's authentic as much as you can in modern day living, because that's the fun of it, the character and the coolness of, and especially that stretch of the street has a lot of different kind of architecture, which I think is really interesting and awesome. And in doing so, we're trying to propose a house that is, a livable house of the 21st century for a family. And yet, these rooms are not enormous, and we're excited about that challenge and the interest in, coming up with a house that people are like, wow, I didn't recognize that house was even there. And that's cool. And that's, that box of the house is really awesome and cool and interesting. And how can we, do this project together in that it allows for sort of the modernization of, life in the house, as well as preserving and really giving a little life back to this house, and have that be, the thing that people are happy about, and when they see it, and the stepping back and some of that, we've been very, very hard thought on. Not only, I hope it was clear, it steps back in places, but the second floor, it steps back even more. The roofs come down on both, it really steps back and down. I would make the argument there's not a whole lot of it that you are really able to see from the public way. And of course you can see some, but anyway, a few thoughts on what was said.
Oh, and no, I mean, it's and certainly you heard our queries from the last meeting and addressed those in terms of, we're calling it the left side, kind of stepping it in, but then also the additional delineation of even just something subtle like the shingles from the clapboard, sort of was, I thought a good addition to, just provide a little separation between the front, the back, but keep them cohesive. I think there was something else that you had mentioned. I can't remember. It came up, but I will see if, let's see, Kristen, do you have other? Oh, sorry, Elise.
Yeah. Let me just make one other comment.
Sure.
There really is no other place to put the addition. I think we can't go to the left, right, front.
No.
And we can't, the left side is where, that the garage, we're holding that line on the left. And the problem is, could we shift it 2 feet? Yes, we could shift it 2 feet, but we can't shift it much more, because you saw it today. It's very tight at the bottom of the driveway.
Yeah.
And you really need the 35 feet to back out and around. So that, I just wanted to address that. It's not as if there's 1,000 options. The garage is 24 by 24. That's to fit 2 cars,
Yeah.
So.
Well, Joel also was showing me and Jeff, and Walter may have seen it separately, but exactly where that garage line is, both in the back end, but also on the left side, and just, kind of what you're working with, in the line you're going on. So I think that was, made pretty clear back there. I mean, we could see. Jeff, did you have any other questions after this morning? It seemed like you
Yeah,
had.
a couple. I mean, as far as the massing and building out back and everything like that, I'm totally fine with that. I mean, I like the way the original part has been differentiated.
Mhm.
And I think the mass is broken up nicely by Elise there with her design.
Mhm.
It's attractive and in clapboards, that doesn't bother me if it's all clapboards. I'm not sure. I mean, I think the shingles might actually be a little strange, but that's just me architecturally speaking. You know, um, but the only thing I'm thinking about are, if you're replacing all the windows, all the clapboards, and so on and so forth, there's basically not going to be anything of the old house left, and it's just going to look like another new house. And we're on that. Walter pointed out this morning, just how kind of significant a neighborhood this is. I mean, it's where everybody walks from the town center to Old North Bridge, and I've walked down that 100 times probably. Um, and it's a really beautiful group of houses along there, very eclectic, but all kind of historic in their own way.
Mhm.
Is it possible to work and keep those original windows? Because the glass in those has that kind of nice, I don't know what the name is, but it's got the wavy old glass. And, and I know I looked at those closely and I realized, there's not a lot of meat left in them to
Mm.
work with them. It would take an artisan for sure. But, you know, I thought that was one of the big things in the Historic District Commission was retaining some of the old character, this original.
Right.
Because
I
yeah,
speak to that if I can.
Sure. Is that you, John?
Good.
There you are. Hi.
Well, I did have a restoration guy come out, and they
okay,
in areas, especially on the mullions on the inside that have been hit, say, by the locking set. A lot
yeah,
of times they have to replace that wood. So when they say restore, you're actually using new wood to fix the window. So
hmm
just so you're aware, they do need to, like, in spots that it's thin, like I'm sure you saw the mullions, and I spoke to
hmm
you last time. There's not a lot left to them.
no,
A lot of them, they will be repaired if they can, but if not, when they replace them with new wood.
I have to say,
So-
losing the original glass, though, I agree with Jeff. That constitutes an original material, the original wavy glass. So even if they were replacing the wood, the glass is an original material. And I understand they're a mess, but like it would be nice to see the at least the front facade of that house retain some of the historical feel.
And
And
I'll speak to that
I
too.
think I think the wavy glass would do that, even if it were just for the front facade.
So walking around, there are some panes that are broken. Certainly the ones that aren't broken won't have to be replaced, but it is replaced with antique glass. Like I talked with Clary, they came out and saw it, and that they explained they used antique glass. They don't have antique glass, but just it's made to look wavy. So in any spot that a pane needs to be replaced, it would be antique, but it would not be like an original old piece of glass.
you could cannibalize some of the ones from the back of the house.
Yes.
Right.
So,
So, I mean, we'd like to work with, we want to work with you guys because you've, got sort of the passion to make this house work for another 100 years. But I think that, from like Jeff and Lewis, for instance, you can hear that, we are the Historic Districts Commission. So we're sort of trying, like, what could there be that would be something historic that we could kind of hold on to? Like, it's true that, windows are a big thing, as I had mentioned to you guys this morning, and I get that, like, they've been nailed shut and weather stripped and painted over the weather stripping and painted over that, and we kind of know what that translates, into sort of a mess. But like, what's
I could speak to it if you'd like.
sure.
Our major concern is safety. Our major other concern would be, how we're going to warranty this house to a new customer. and how can, because we like to repair, we like to fix problems, basically.
Mhm.
Similar with the patio. We saw that this house had zero place to hang out. We fixed it by adding a patio. It's
Mhm.
just, and everything in the design process was to fix a problem that came up because it's such a small, long lot.
Mhm.
So with the siding, like it's just the way we work. We always would like to fight for the customer that they're getting at their, to buy this house as close to new as possible.
Mhm.
Like to provide that to them. Like everything on the inside will be redone and new. And we'd like to get them a product that, they're walking into something they're not going to have maintenance done to in the next 10, 15 years. They're not going to have something fall off the minute we leave. And we can't warranty. I would say older windows like this fall. Anyone, I'm sure all of you know how they work. You have to love them and you have to be able to take care of them yourself and know how to work them to live with them.
Yeah.
So could you guys maybe do the Joanna and Elise and you, Joel?
Yeah.
Oh,
Could I just want to say this. I mean, we could preserve as much as we can, the front porch, all the details, the columns, anything there that's not rotted, the door, we are keeping. We'll keep those corner boards, the rounded ones. We'll keep everything on that house exactly as is in terms of the siding, the trim, the porch, the doors, all that. I mean, the windows, I do think, maybe we need a little more discussion. I mean, the other thing we're up against is the whole HERS rating thing. And this house, I've talked to the building inspector, will have to have a HERS rating. And, older windows with, they're just really hard to get past. So, the wavy glass, I mean, Joanna and I were just saying, maybe we do the front, like, someone mentioned. The problem is there will be a storm in front of that, because there has to be, they're just.
As
it just
Joanna
wouldn't
was
pass,
incredulous of that,
Concord
this
has
morning.
very, very strict energy standards. So
To me, so I'll just say, to me, that would be disappointing to put a storm over it. I know that's what they do, and I know that's the take on it, but, trying to keep the historic appearance, and upgrade to performance that, the town demands. I mean, the sustainability emphasizes even, with older homes, I think they encourage solutions that improve efficiencies. And so anyway, throw that. I mean, I love the wavy glass too and all that. So I don't know where the balance is because you're also
You could do an internal storm because probably you're going to have a HVAC system or heat pumps that.
Yeah, well, yeah. Those bedrooms upstairs, it would be children's bedrooms and in terms of an egress and fire, and that would be I just think that there's concerns with the inside of it, and you can't open the window. And
Well, they can fix the windows to open. We redid.
No,
the
I'm not talking
details,
about
all the
they
windows.
can't open like they don't fix there. But if you have a storm in front of it, you're not going to be able to get out the window.
Oh,
in a bedroom.
you're looking at them actually right behind me if you can see it. And you just pull them out. I mean, it's just an interior. I mean, just to say it is possible, and they're easily removable.
I'll say one thing about them because we also have them on 515 Lexington. Is they are removable, but they are pressure fit in between.
Yeah.
Well, some of them are, and for a small child, I don't know. A small child can open a door or a window with ease.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if those interior storms can be opened with a child's ease.
I'm not sure a child could open an exterior storm more easily.
Yeah.
I think this is something to research.
Yeah.
Well, the building
the research
department
item.
is going to come in when they come in to do their inspection. They're going to operate the windows at a certain, like, we'll say I only know to door swings, like it has to be at 5 pounds per pressure, but so that they know what to test these windows and doors at to pass them for second floor egress. And Kevin was the one that voiced the concern about it. But each room only needs one egress window. So just one thing to keep in mind.
All right, if I can just go back for a second. Elise, you had offered up some, sorry. Did she step away for dinner? Sorry about
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry. Yes, sorry
It's
about
okay.
that.
No, but addressing, sort of Jeff's query about like what could we retain, you guys, what could we retain from the original, since original materials, so are kind of where we're at. And you had said maybe the porch and this, that, the other thing, so that there were things that could be salvaged, like not everything's going to be
No. I mean, some of the clapboards, it would see whether they could be, because what happens with old clapboards is they, water gets in them, kind of thing. They didn't used to prime them on all sides, and that pushes paint off, and you have that end of problem. So, the question would be whether they could be, stripped and then reprimed, kind of thing, and how much could be used that isn't rotted. And like I said, the porch is pretty in probably the best shape of anything in the house, really. So,
It does,
obviously keep the porch and all the columns and all that material. And we'll keep those round corners. I hadn't realized that they were super historic. So we could definitely keep that.
I wouldn't promise this. I would say that you could probably do the whole porch.
Yes,
and
we could. The
door. And
Yes.
silence.
Yeah. And the clapboards would be like, we'd have to see it as we took them off. How rotted are they? I mean, unfortunately, I see it in a lot of old houses where, you take it off, the clapboards themselves are pretty bad. So, we would keep as much as we can, up on the overhangs, the trim, anything like that, we could keep.
Yeah, which I know Joanna's done that before in other houses that you've come before us. What do you think about that, Jeff? I mean, some things could be.
No, that's all I'm asking. If they
Yeah.
can somehow see what they can do, and keep that. I mean, Joanna, you understand what I'm saying, right? About the significance in that neighborhood. And
Yeah, and I think there are things like you said, like the porch, you would never, that wouldn't be built like that today in a new house. And I think that's really significant to the, the time of the house. And I think between the porch and the door and that whole piece is, and then as you said, some of the detail on the house, keeping it that original, I would think that would be a difference maker from what would look like a new house, which I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
About
And
that.
particularly with the porch, being right at street level and, kind of that's sort of an easy visual marker.
I'd hate to lose the rippled glass windows though too. I would keep those on at least for the front facade.
Is there the window we're proposing, obviously, I think is not rippled, but it's like, it's been used in the historic district before. It's of the 6/6 and the mullions and everything is just like this window. Is there a window company that does, that and put in the wavy glass? I mean,
We're looking at like, proper Bostonian to do like a restoration versus a replacement, but I know it's a lot of replaced wood.
Yeah.
It would keep the feel of the facade. It would make it look like a historic house. It would keep
Have either of you, Joanna or Joel, dealt with proper Bostonian before? They've been doing a little more work in the district among applicants of ours.
Just Cleary so far. And Cleary, they worked on.
Oh, that's right. You said you were dealing with Cleary.
Lexington.
Yeah, that's right.
I think they'd probably be similar. I don't know. I'm sure maybe they're not, but
that's right. No, I forgot you had mentioned you already talked with.
Right.
Even if you could like take windows from the back just to kind of put
Sure.
them,
and what Cleary said, when I first talked to him, I was like, I'd like to just see if these are new or old, like what the age are and if they can be redone. And he said, listen, if I'm just so you know, before you even come, I can restore anything.
Yeah.
So there's really, there's no real question on whether or not they can be restored. Of course they can. It's just a monetary.
Right.
And they are about $4,400 per window to be restored.
Yeah.
I think with Anderson's, they're about $1,200, but with the installation, that's probably $100,000. So it's usually about $2,200. Neither of them would be painted. We'll have to paint paint the Cleary restoration, and we'll paint them as well. So
The bigger concern for me is the balancing the the codes and being able to pass. And I've had, I don't know if it was possible. We had it at Elm Street. We had our windows done, and we've likewise done it in another house. And again, they are done well, but you do have to care for them over time. And it's definitely, it's a lot more, and they don't last 50 years like the more sustainable, modern ones. But I don't know if there's a way to, if we could do maybe even a little bit more research on this, if there's a way to, I don't know about the rest of the project and all the other things,
Right.
because we also have a ZBA meeting tomorrow. I would want to know, if it's just the windows, can we separate that out and kind of confer on the rest?
Yeah. Joe had asked that. Let's do that because
I feel like I don't want to promise something that I don't know all the answers to what that promise means. I have the best intentions, and I hear what the interest is, and would love just more time with the guy who went through and do the research so what we can really, what are the choices of how to address this.
Sure. Yeah, I think so commissioners, let's look at the rest of the application separate from the windows. In terms of what's been
You would say just the front windows. I think you could even just separate out the front windows. For me, anyway.
That's well, let's start with that because they kind of dovetail. How would the commissioner feel about because the windows on the side or the side itself, the sides are in bad shape and the back is in bad shape. Okay.
Well, there's a question there. When Clary looked at things, did they look at the entirety of the house?
yes.
Okay.
The only
So you have a pending report from them that encompasses the entire house.
not the entire house, obviously not the back.
Yeah, but most of the front side.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
gave
so
me-
I would just say it's premature to be trying to differentiate different parts of the historic existing house before you have the report and know what they've actually said.
All right.
and they all are the same kind of window, same look. So
It might be a pleasant surprise.
Okay, then let's go. We'll set aside windows. We'll set aside windows for the original structure all around at the moment, and go back to the plans for the addition and for there's like a retaining wall that's kind of going up at the foot of the driveway, or at the back of the driveway to maneuver better into the garage. Have we seen any of these pictures?
Yeah, we've submitted those.
But we haven't pulled them up tonight, right?
tonight, the last meeting we did, we pulled up the plot plan.
Yeah, we have people here who have not seen them. And
Right.
not have
So
seen
there we
them.
go. Which also, we haven't seen, I mean, we who were there this morning, but Elise made some changes following comments from the last meeting, particularly at concern of Tim's that are reflected here. So this,
Elise, is the only change on this side just going from clapboards to shingles in the back?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, on that side.
And
On
the other
that side, it's
side
just,
is
yes. The other side, we step back, sorry, the second floor and put the corner board in.
right. I mean, my comments parallel Jeff's. I guess I just don't. I don't view this as overly large, given the smallness of the first house, and I do like the differentiation. It's very subtle differentiation, but I appreciate that. As to whether it's clapboards and shingles or all clapboards, again, I'm kind of drifting towards what Jeff said, which is kind of. I don't. It's a fuzzy one. It could be architect's choice on this. I don't have a strong opinion on that. So I personally I don't have any comments on what, there have just been some very subtle adjustments, but the focus has been on how to keep the old front, old part, the existing part looking to have its own old texture. And I think that's the totally right discussion tonight. And that involves the windows and the trim and saving the clapboards where they can. So that's my 2 cents on where things are.
Okay, thank you, Tim. Does anyone have any other questions?
If I may, I would say on the siding that I would prefer to see more of the clapboard than the shingles. It's stylistically, the clapboard makes sense to me. The shingles don't. I understand the differentiation. You could differentiate it by having a subtle color change as easily as changing the material. And I think the shingles are not historically appropriate for that.
Well, to the point, I think Tim said it, maybe leave it architect's choice or builder's choice. I appreciate though that was a concept that you sketched out, to kind of give a little more distinction between the new and the old.
Yes, yeah, we actually prefer the clapboards.
Yeah.
So you're, but thank you for showing us that because
Yeah.
it was just a good thing to see. But it seems like now with the change in kind of the middle section, so we'll kind of leave that to your preference. And let's see, other questions from anyone on the commission?
So, just getting back to Joanna's comment on the existing, or I'm sorry, I don't know if it was Lisa or Joanna, but, as we all know, we're all experienced here. The old houses have a texture, and the texture is sometimes a bit beat up, slightly beat up clapboards. There's a texture at old houses that when you strip off everything and redo it in kind, and I think as Jeff said, it becomes a new house. And I think, Joanna, you were saying, that, or at least you could preserve as much trim, casings. If I got this right on the front part, I'm separating out the windows because that's its own little ball of wax. I'm just talking about the siding, clapboards, corner boards, eaves, rakes.
Yes.
Are you saying you're going to preserve as much as you can, unless just rot it out, unless it's absolutely rotted out? You're going to keep that texture, even though it's going to be stripped and painted. Is that what you're proposing?
Yes, I mean, I think that is completely what we want to do. I would say the one, it gets a little dicey. That's what I was saying with the clapboards. You can't just repaint. Like, we'd have to see how much we could strip a little bit because otherwise it'll just, if the moisture still comes in the back, it will throw the paint off again. So, we don't want, again, Joanna's point, them coming back and having to paint it every 3 years. So we would take that into consideration. But yes, I mean, all the trim on the porch, the columns, like whatever we can preserve, we will. The shutters that we have to replace, we'll replace in kind. Some of them are broken. So, those can't be restored, but they have certainly wood shutters that match these.
Can I speak to that too?
What's that?
Yeah, I think if we were able to say focus on the front facade, the front of the house, we definitely could take parts to repair from the rest of the sides.
Yeah.
Make sure that the front of the house stays all old.
That would be great.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
And it would be like, I know we're going to wait on the windows, but if we were able to put new windows on the sides, at least we would keep our symmetrics and make it look like it belongs, not having old window but with new window above for safety reasons. But the front of the house all old, and reuse all the best of the sashes, the glass. So that way we could maybe make it continue to have the old wood throughout the sashes and the refurbished as well. And there, like, obviously, if it's just the front, like we have a lot to pull from.
Right, right.
Yeah. And that way too, that would give you the 2 bedrooms up that are in the front of the house. They would have windows on the side that could be, your egress windows.
Absolutely. It would,
easy to operate.
Yes.
Okay.
I would also say I would rather try the interior storm and see if we got away with it before we went to an exterior storm.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
For looks purposes.
I said I'm gonna do research on this.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Putting on your thinking cap for that direction. But I think still, let's see. So I'm going to open it to the public for public comment on the addition design for 83 Monument Street. Any questions, thoughts, queries? I know some neighbors had supported the idea at the last meeting. And
I think weren't there new submissions, neighbor support this week or today?
Yeah, I think I sent a couple in.
That Joanna sent on, yeah. That they didn't go to Anne, but they went to Joanna and she shared them with Anne. So it doesn't seem to be any objection right now, which is great. So are we ready for a motion with regards to the proposed design of the addition? We can separate out the windows if we want. Do you think maybe you guys, Joanna, Elise, Joel, want to just maybe look into a couple more things?
I would appreciate that if we could. Just
is that okay? Is that what you would like? I mean,
we could figure. Yeah, I just want to be clear. We have looked through how to do it best, and for all the things we've talked about, if that's okay.
Okay, no, that's great. I mean,
I think we're happy to come back about the windows.
Okay, thank you. All right, so could we have a motion about the design of the addition?
What an asshole.
Think you guys must all be on mute, looking for a motion.
I motion to approve, 83 Monument Street with holding the windows for a later date discussion.
To continue on to next week, which is May 6th. Is that okay, Joanna? May 6th?
Yep.
Okay.
Talking about the windows in the existing house.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's in the existing house. So to have a second for Jeff's motion. Tim, you second that? Okay. Then I will go around for a vote. Again, this is for the design of the addition, but not the windows in the front of the house. Lewis.
Aye.
Tim.
Aye.
Anne's got a question.
Oh, Anne, hello.
Sorry, I would just like clarification. There was a slight change in the floor plan, right, with the stepping back, but then there's also the discussion about the shingles versus clapboards. So do you want to make that clear?
Oh,
as to
in the
what
motion?
exactly you're approving?
Sure. Thank you for bringing that back.
Is it a combination of the two, like the clapboard material?
Well, it looks like
the
we've
new
left it up
design?
to, so Elise had originally submitted clapboard for this follow-up design of delineating the new space a little more. She offered a shingles option. It looks like the commissioners and the applicants both prefer clapboard. So so let's add clapboard to the motion.
Yes.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
So,
and Kate, there's also a patio, stone wall, and a picket fence that haven't really been discussed as part of this solution.
oh, all right. Well, I mean, that was on the design. Did anyone have?
Just saying that there's a lot more points here rather than what we've covered.
All right, well, we can cover those then. There's, I had assumed that people had looked at those. Does anyone have any questions about the, when you say you said stone wall, Walter, do you mean
Well,
the,
it's incorporating a new garage, replace siding, trim, roof, doors, windows, and shutters, and install the driveway, patio, stone wall, and picket fence. That's what's proposed. So there are bunches of that have not been discussed.
all right, they've not been discussed at this one, so we can do a quick review of them then if that's.
Well, I'm not trying to keep everybody forever, but just
No, no. All right. Does anyone have any questions about the exterior elements of the design, such as the patio that Joel mentioned earlier, that's on the designs, or roofing material or anything like that that is not in the packet? Would we like to see an image of any of these things?
Guess not.
It was pretty clear in the plans, and then today, the site visit, you could see where it was going to go.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed to make sense.
I think so, but just just to be thorough.
Not to drag this out, I would agree. Nothing jumped out at me either, but it is a big project. I don't know if Joanna and Elise would be willing to just walk. We haven't. It hasn't really been discussed and presented. Maybe you have presented it to some degree, but we haven't queried about it. It hasn't been really analyzed the way the building has. So I don't know if we could just review that in the next continuance and we continue to talk about it tonight, but it's getting late for everybody. And I personally don't have any particular, in my own opinion, don't have any concerns, but it may be worth just having a site discussion so we're clear.
Well, if
Joanna says that, look, we need to know tonight, then maybe we need to have Elise explain what that is so everybody has a comfort level, and we'll do it as quickly as we can. So
I think maybe we might want to do it tonight.
Tonight, okay.
Since we're here with
Get it
quorum,
done.
we
can talk
have
about it too.
have all three of them, Joel, Elise, and Joanna. So
do you want to bring up the site plan then?
Could I ask a question? I just want to be clear about what in the application you want us to review. With all due respect, we've given all the specs. It's in the application. There are pictures of everything. I'm happy to go through with everybody if that's necessary. I just want to be sure we're using the time well. It's, we can walk through all of it. But...
Yeah, I'm not saying we have to. I'm just saying we didn't.
I did talk about it on the last meeting. I know some people weren't there, but I could do a quick run through, but it would be up to you guys if you wanted to bring up pictures. But they're all definitely in the packet. Like the field, it's going to be a field stone wall. There will be like a white picket fence for safety purposes. The wall's high as you get down to the driveway, just to be able to get into the garage. So, for safety reasons, we're going to have a white picket fence that curls around and captures the space. Kind of gives it a little privacy as well. We proposed having a kind of a parking spot up by the street, which is kind of convenience, pick up kids, drop off kids, like takeout people. Just another spot to not get kind of trapped down at that bottom of the driveway and have to negotiate turning around.
That's right.
Literally, we tried to just make use of every square foot of that narrow property to just make sense and be useful for the future owners. And it'll be granite pavers.
Thank you, Ann.
Steps of granite. If she wants to zero in on that too, it's helpful. There's a lot on there. There's a fence. We'll build on site.
I mean, I'm assuming all the commissioners have gone through all this material.
Yeah, there's a stone wall spec there too. That's one of the stone walls I've done.
That's along the driveway, right?
Yep.
Yeah, like basically at that place. Okay.
That's one Joanna's done. Yeah.
And
are we okay with the auxiliary parking space that's visible from the public way?
Let's see. Do we have?
It's not planned. It's not planned to.
It's a parking space in the front
Right. Yeah.
yard of the house in the historic, on Monument Street.
Yeah, that's true. Do we have an elevation depiction of that at all by any chance?
Just the right side elevation on the original plans.
Okay.
And I kind of went over it today on the probably floor plans elevations. This also shows the house in clapboard. So basically, because it's in single dimension, and you could see it from the plot plan above, but you'd have a single space to pull in and turn around.
To the left of the fence and the patio.
Correct. Yeah. And it's really just meant for being able to negotiate in and out quickly and not have to back onto Monument Street,
And what's there right now? The driveway.
Yes, the actual driveway itself is in that position now. The driveway is going to slide closer to the edge of the property to give you room for that little patio. That's the existing.
That's the existing. And
Is that parking, couldn't tell if that parking is retained or is it just on grade, basically?
No, it is up on grade. It is up on grade. Naturally, retained by it's going to follow the slope of the driveway as it starts to come down. And then it is up against the wall going into that sitting area. It's helpful, people stopping by and just visiting to have to walk all the way up the hill or to enter the house through the garage doors. We went down many different plans to put a set of stairs back there, but it just never made any sense. The height the stairs would have to be, 8 into much of the patio design.
But
So
you are potentially going to have a car parked in the front yard of this house.
Anyone coming to the house, would be wanting to get to the front door instead of having to be parked all the way down the hill and then come to the front door to come and visit. It would be nice to be able to have a spot to park if you're visiting.
it's true, Joel. We are typically very reticent about adding parking to the front where there isn't any. I mean, I know that other houses do have some.
Right. The original house before it put in the garage, it was all backyard with the driveway 2 spots right off a monument. That didn't there was no driveway down back. It was all grass that went down the hill before they put the garage in. And so in the 60s when they put that garage in is when they made that driveway.
So would there be any screening for that space? I still can't quite get a grip.
Yes. Now there will be.
Right. Isn't there something there right now?
There is some big dogwood shrub. Like there's some shrubs there, and we plan to do some nice shrubs around that as well. Possibly, so it certainly could have some. But there is a giant bush there now. There's a lot of overgrown bushes. There now.
So, is there a proposed planting plan for that, or is this the state plan right here?
Yeah, we haven't really proposed any planting. One, we don't
Okay.
have very many areas to plant. I
Right.
think we're gonna see how we can deal with the existing shrubs if we can, and then if we have.
I just wonder if that gate is just something we could require for planting to screen that parking area. It doesn't have to be high, just to screen a car.
Yeah. That would be a typical response.
I think we can either agree to that or come back with a planting plan if that's helpful. I mean,
Yeah, planting plan would be helpful and consider that parking
yeah.
area.
Would we be able to be like in contingent on the landscape plan? So we could work on our patio, and when we like basically came up with our plan, we could propose it.
Uh, Possibly, but we wouldn't want you to get too far with your patio, and then that would then preclude some potential planning. I'm just saying
No, we
that
could
theoretically.
pull out the proposed parking with the windows, and then it would just be the proposed parking area that was in question.
I think that's probably the main one that would, I mean, because there's, like, as you said, there's not much there to plant, there's not much space to plant anyway. So I think it would be the screening for the parking would be the most likely. I don't, that the picket fence that runs perpendicular to the road, right? Parallel to the driveway.
And
That's
then it curves with a wall, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Wherever you see wall, other than the steps, there would be picket fence. We could continue the picket fence around the proposed parking area, but also like we're not opposed to a shrub. Like we do like nice landscape things. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine you'll have a landscape plan at some point.
Yeah.
But no, you needn't look. I don't believe to extending the fence. We prefer less fence than more.
Yeah.
So you don't have to
Absolutely.
add that to the list. Okay. Patio, and you mentioned the patio. That's that you're kind of wedging in. And is that off the kitchen?
It's off the mudroom. That door coming off the side will enter into the mudroom.
Okay. All right. Then okay. Let's see. I mean, it's all so tight, isn't it?
Yeah, like using the retaining wall really helps because you can imagine how much concrete would be showing on the addition if we weren't building that earth up. So just factor that in. Just it's a necessity to kind of create a flat spot around the addition and the main house to hold back earth, cover the foundations, and it's their one spot to then come out and grill.
Just to interject, I also felt that the retaining wall, it kind of brought that part of the addition up at the same level as the house, and so it didn't like drop off. And so I thought it looked better that way. It felt like it sat better on the site, and that was the other thing with the retaining wall.
Yeah. I think Joel had mentioned that at the last meeting. Or one of you, maybe you did, Joanna. One of you made that point of how it kind of just provides a little more cohesion on that plane. Okay.
You need to see the right side elevation. It kind of shows you how much drop there will be along that side.
Okay.
As a reference.
Does anyone have any concerns about the retaining wall? I think we can see what we're dealing with. I mean, certainly the house to your left has an almost identical situation, right?
Yeah.
With that same drop and the kind of below grade garage, double garage. There's fence And there's a patio. And
Sure.
someone else have a question? Okay. All right. Any other questions? Please speak. Walter?
I'm curious about drainage, but that's not our purview, so.
It is not really.
I understand.
Do you have any questions about anything in our purview?
I think I've been vocal enough, probably.
Okay, well, it would be,
Yeah.
it'd be better to be vocal out front than behind me. So before I make
Never
another,
behind you, Kate.
before I make another motion and you ask me about it, you can hear it now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do we have a motion on this design? Or would you like to continue? We did have a site visit today, and there's a lot of documentation in the file, but it is a big project. And
I think we're ready to move to approve the application, excluding window conversation and screening or potential front parking. It sounds like that. I don't know if I'm wrong.
it seems that way. I just didn't know if someone's not, you know, anyone being silent. Okay. Would you like to make a fresh motion, Louis, incorporating what Anne
Excuse me, Kate,
Yeah.
if I may.
Yeah.
I think Elise or Joanna offered bringing back a planting plan. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Yeah.
So I think that would be the continuance on the site, including the screening of the parking. Is that
Yeah, that's
right? Yeah, Louis mentioned the contingent windows and plantings.
okay? It isn't just the parking screening, it's a planting plan for the, whatever they're proposing for the entire site.
Why don't you make the motion, Tim? Because I didn't make the first one anyway. Go for it.
Without my paper, what's this?
83
Someone give me the
Monument.
address, please.
83
Sorry?
Monument.
83
83
Thank you.
Monument.
So I propose, make a motion that we approve 83 Monument design as submitted with two exceptions. One is the continuance for examination or preservation of existing windows in the existing house, and the second continuance of a proposed planting plan that includes screening of the upper parking area.
And clapboard siding. Did you?
All right, thank you. And this approval includes acceptance of clapboards for the new addition as well as the existing house.
Mhm. Okay. Thank you, Tim. Do we have a second for that?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Jeff. Louis,
I'm an aye.
you're an aye. Thank you. Walter,
I'm a no.
you're a no. Thank you. Jeff,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
and I'm an aye. So, does that give you something to work with, Joel, Joanna, and Elise?
Yes.
yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Because we will be able to go forward with this ZBA tomorrow, and as you know, we had NRC as well, so we appreciate the
A lot of
lengthening of
part-
the meeting for it.
lot of parties.
Will we be able to go first at the next meeting?
Well, we can, you know, we can,
Aye.
I don't know who the powers are be that, but
Yeah.
we will make that known. Yes, understood. Okay, so you know, thanks for your input, and we'll continue to work with you on this. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
that's okay. That's it. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. Let's see. We have. Oh, look at these things that we moved ahead. Okay, that was the last one. Mimi Graney, we had moved ahead 77 Walden Street, we moved ahead, and a discussion has been continued to May 6th, which we also already voted on, moving all our requests to continue. And a draft meeting of minutes, I did not have a chance to look at those minutes, full disclosure. I'm sure our secretary did.
The secretary did and suggested a couple of small modifications, and the secretary is happy with them as they stand.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary. Anyone else have a chance to look at them? I didn't. I usually do. But the secretary's word is the gold standard here. So can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I move we approve the minutes of January 14th and February 4th as submitted.
Okay.
I'll second.
Thank you, Tim. I think we can just all in favor say aye on this one. It's a simple aye. Thank you. And so we have a site visit for May 6th at 50 Monument Street, just to get a grip on the fencing. And that's the only one, to my knowledge. And we have a bunch of
That's true.
continuances for May 6th, and there it is.
Okay.
Terrific.
Any other questions, anybody? Did Paul stay with us?
I'm still here.
Yay, Paul. He's like,
I would like for you to make a motion.
So yes, Paul, make your first motion. That's what Jeff did.
Oh, right. Should this be the motion? Make a motion to end this meeting? I
That's
forgot
correct.
the official language.
Adjourn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Adjourn this meeting. Yes.
Yes, nice motion. And do we have a second?
Yes, I second.
Thank you, Louis. And we'll just raise hands. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Everybody. Yes.
Thanks so much, everybody.